Hey guys, Justice Cury. I need to take a minute, relax. I figured what better opportunity to get some things off my mind, chit chat with you guys. I've been hustling pretty hard lately with selling toys, which I've been doing hardcore for like 8 years now. But I kind of kicked it in overdrive the last couple weeks, and I thought, what better topic than tell you guys my system, how I sell toys. Now, there's no right or wrong way, and this is universally acceptable with selling whatever, from sports memorabilia to shoes to antiques. There's a lot of same veins when it comes to all these topics, but everyone's got their system. There's no right or wrong way to do it. This is just something I developed. And I'm curious on your guys' way. So whoever is watching this, which it might just be my mother, but if you have your own little way of selling, please comment down below. If you're watching this in the various forms of social media, I typically create most content on Facebook. So if you're watching this on something else, then please get over to Facebook, hit that follow button, because that's where I do all my sales. And a constant complaint I get from people is the stuff sells out too quickly. And that's because, and this will be part of my topic, and I don't have notes in front of me, this is all just spur of the moment. I price to sell. That's one of my things. And it came from, I went to an antique place, because toys, like, I've been doing toys for a long time, but I've even done like garage sales, antiques, since I had a driver's license. I remember right when eBay was in its infancy, late 90s, early 2000s, and I stopped at a garage sale. I had just got my driver's license, and I bought a framed little picture and a Kermit the Frog puppet from the 70s or something, and I sold one of them to someone in Japan. Like, I bought them for $1 and sold the Kermit for like $25 or something, and I was like, oh my gosh, like something clicked in my mind. And there's been phases. It's not always been hardcore selling, but early on in my collecting life, I realized I didn't want to use real world finances and my money, and so I needed to create a Mama Don't Know fund, which was my PayPal that she didn't look at or care about. Yeah, I would buy large collections, and I'm sure you've heard this from me or other toy guys before, and you sell a lot of it at a profit, and you keep a few pieces, and then that snowball starts bankrolling and getting bigger. And that's how I was able to purchase everything in my collection. I never really had to use my real world finances to do it, and then it's grown into something crazy, which, by the way, if you're looking to sell things, you can always hit up old JC right here, and I buy ginormous collections, or I buy a few pieces at a time. I'm always fair, so hit me up on Facebook. But that being said, everyone offers a little bit differently. Now, if you take your items to a pawn shop or other resellers, you know, universally, they're going to give you between 25 to 60%, depending on the item. And there could be some other things that are worked out with consignment, and we could get off in the giggly weeds with those. My big thing was I pay 50%, but I try to establish up front with people what that means. What does 50% mean? Because they're going to show me an eBay listing and say, well, the item's worth $100, and I have to educate people constantly, like, that's what someone's offering or asking. It could sit on eBay for years. Let's look at what it actually sells for. Oh, it only sells consistently bidding auctions for $40. Yes, there might be some buy it nows for $65, but in my brain, how I sell, if it's on eBay, it's bidding. I'm not the guy that sits there with the buy it nows and waits months for it to sell. No, there's nothing wrong with it. Actually, that works. If you want to maximize your money, you wait and play that long game with the buy it now prices. One of my buddies used to buy massive amounts of video games and toys from me, because he was the buy it now guy. He would come over and we would look up the item and he would think, wow, I can get $200 buy it now on eBay, whereas the bidding would only go to 120. So he would offer me 100 and I would say, yep, and we'd make massive deals. So that worked out very nicely for him. It was mutually beneficial. And something that I like to hark on is time. My time is more valuable than my money. Like, time is fleeting. So when it comes to offering prices for collection, there's so many darn variables involved. And how desirable is the item? Like, if there's like 20 of them listed on eBay of this one particular item and only one of them is sold in 2-3 months, that means the interest in the item is not very good. So if all of them are listed for $20 and one of them may be sold for $15 in a couple month period, that means I'm not giving you $7 for the thing, because chances are I'm not going to get that $15 out of it. I might only give you $5 for it. And that's when I'm buying large amounts of things, thousands of items, thousands of dollars. There's so many little minute factors. But if it's a mint on card G.I. Joe, like an Alley Viper that I know will sell instantly for $200, yeah, I might be able to stretch it and go, well, I could possibly go 60%, because I know that 40% will be a slam dunk. But there's other factors and considerations to take into account, which is eBay fees, which I've done the simple math before, and I'll just dumb it down real quick. You sell a $100 item on eBay, and eBay's and PayPal's going to take 15%, so that turns into $85. Then roughly the IRS is going to ask for $22 of the 100, and the shipping. So say shipping was $15, so IRS at the end of the year is going to go, yep, I want 22% of the $115. So now that takes you down to like $63-ish. Yes, you can write things off. I can write off the cost of the shipping. I can write off the cost that I paid for that, which makes my margin a little bit better, but still that $63 might only turn into $70 to $75. So I have to think about those things. It's what people are willing to pay. I'm going to date the video, but this is 2023. When COVID hit in 2020, I thought it was going to be the apocalypse and toys were going to plummet, but the opposite happened for various reasons, and toys and collectibles in general actually doubled in price. So now that things are, market slowing down, a lot of other factors, it's on the decline right now, and it's probably, my guess is it's going to go lower than pre-COVID. But who knows? Who knows anything? Let's go back to, because I'm just going on random tangents, how I specifically sell. Because that was the purpose of the video, and I started getting off topic. There are so many darn factors. I've got a huge collection mailed to me from Florida right now that I'm not even going to attempt to process it. Because what I used to do in my early days, and what a lot of sellers do, is they try to make their money back right away with the gem pieces, the money makers, the desirable pieces. And when you buy a giant collection, you want to get your money back, so you sell off all these things, but then it kind of leaves you with the not so desirable or the nickel and dime things, or it becomes work. So a system that I established is I like to try to tackle the things that I don't want to sell, the things that are maybe not as desirable and are cheaper things, and bundle those up and try to sell them. And what's been successful to me, and that's why a lot of resellers come to me, is I offer awesome prices. Even on my top dollar things, I offer awesome prices because I want them gone. I want them gone. I don't want to wait on them. When I list things, primarily on Facebook, I'm listing it where people are going to go, oh my gosh, I'm not going to see that deal again. I might as well buy it. And I also do payment plans, which is a total another entity onto itself, because let's face it, our lives are built around credit. So that's what I know, that's what everyone knows. Payment plans for cars and phones and mortgages and whatnot. And I try, just on a side note, when I do a payment plan, I want to finish it up within 2 months. Like, I've had 6-month payment plans or years, and they drag out. Some people I will do it because I just know them personally and their financial situation. But that's a whole nother video altogether on the pitfalls and the benefits, because I do it. There's benefits, obviously, to payment plans. But I try to tackle the things I don't want to sell first. What's happened to me recently, why I'm not even diving in and open all these boxes of this wonderful collection I bought, is I'm trying to get rid of my current inventory, because I don't always practice what I preach. Like, I do it to the most part, but there are some items in my inventory that have been sitting there for several years. Things that I'm like, ugh, I can't get rid of them. My people that watch my Facebook or social media aren't going to want these things, but they're valuable. Like Barbie dolls. I listed a lot last week, and I was currently listed some yesterday. I have to research those. You know, some of the heads were swapped, but these are 1958 or in early 60s Barbies, and I have no knowledge base on them other than glancing at the first Barbie ever made. I know what it looks like with the outfit, just in case I saw it at a garage sale. But I got some of these dirt cheap garage sale kind of things, or thrown in with a lot, and I'm just going, I don't want to. I hate using eBay. I don't use it that often. It's only a matter of necessity. There's awesome traits on eBay, don't get me wrong. But last week, it was like $150, $180, even $200 plus on all the little Barbie-esque dolls. And then I already got bids I just listed yesterday on one Barbie is up to like $68 or something like that. So there's money in it, and I can finally get rid of it, close that chapter in my brain. You know, and I'm listing a lot of miscellaneous things on my Facebook account right now. Today I listed like an incomplete Stomper bridge set. I'm like, yeah, it goes for 30 bucks online, $19. Boom, I want it gone. And almost all my sales, things sell within minutes, because I want it gone, I want it gone. And I price them right. Now, some things that I know are crazy desirable, the mint-on-card G.I. Joes, or things that I know everyone wants, yeah, I might be a little higher on the range, but I'm always looking at bidding, sold, eBay auctions, trying to find the average. Rarely am I ever asking buy it now pricing. The only thing I'm asking on that would be like the one-of-a-kind things. Sorry, my clock's going off here, my phone. Oh, and so I typically will have other guys come over that sell at various toy shows, and some of the things that I don't want to sell, or the cheaper things, it's not worth it for me to list anything less than $20 on eBay. Taking pictures, individually boxing, dealing with returns and nitpicky people, and the fees that turn that $20 into like 15 bucks, all that time and energy. I like to do lots of things and to get rid of them. So I'll get rid of like a $20 item for 8 bucks, or what I paid for it, or $5 sometimes even, with other resellers. Caveat to that, meaning like if it's G.I. Joe, most G.I. Joe action figures are worth less than 20 bucks. But I don't mind selling those, so I do reply auctions. I've done all sorts of things. Like when live auctions, I used to do live auctions all the time and be like, all right, we got an Uno deck. Start the bidding at $5. I see that Brad bid $1. I see that Carlos bid $3. Guillermo just bid $8. Sold. And I would do those kinds of things for hours, and it took so much energy, and it's the luck of who's watching. Maybe no one's watching and the thing goes low, but I haven't done those in years. I should, but I don't know. I got burned out doing them all the time. I've done like mystery boxes before, when those kind of became a fad, where I would have maybe 100 GI Joes, and I would have 100 packages, and there would be one GI Joe that's worth like $200, like a whatever it was, and some would be worth $80, but those were only a couple of them, and then the rest were the $10, $20 ones. And then it was like a raffle, a mystery thing, you know, give me 15 bucks and you have a chance, and I mix them all up, and they would sell out like instantly. And I would, you know, 100 times 15 adds up pretty quick. And it made it fun for people. But then, you know, they started getting some hate in the groups. Everyone else started copying off of me. And then they started screwing up and putting junky figures and broken figures. And then, you know how internet drama is, people disparaging that, and I got sucked into that. Even though I never did any nefarious things, there was just a taint to that. The water was poisoned, let's say. So most people, most groups didn't allow those. So I kind of shied away from them and didn't do them on my personal profile anymore. So I've done them that way. A lot of guys use this WhatsApp now. I've had a lot of promoters of WhatsApp and representatives reach out to me trying to get me involved in that, and I talked to some guys who swear by it. But like I said, I got a good thing going with my Facebook. I don't need to add another social media type thing. Like if this dried up and nothing worked on Facebook, yeah, maybe I would try something new. But I got my groove. Don't teach, you know, the old dog a new trick little mentality. I like doing it the way I've been doing it. I set up at my first Comic-Con recently. My buddies were teasing me going, oh, you got like a garage sale booth. Because it was a lot of the miscellaneous stuff that wasn't worth me selling online that I've been accumulating. But, oh my gosh, you know, I made over $1,000 selling nickel and dime, $5, $10 things. So that felt good. And I enjoyed that. So, I don't know. Another side note, like when I post a picture of a lot, I have a lot of people reach out to me. Do you have this? Do you have this? I want this. And sometimes it's cool because I'll say, hey, message me if you see anything you want. But oftentimes when I give a sneak peek, I'm like, don't message me. Like I'm showing an overview of it. I'm like, just follow me. I'll start selling it in small lots. Because what will happen is I'll get overwhelmed with 40 messages of people saying, I want this, I want this. And I start having to price everything on the spot because I'm not ready. And then if someone goes, I want these 5 items, and I'm like, all right, here's the price of it. But they don't get back to me because they're at work for a couple hours. And then I start going down the list of other people, and other people want those same things. And I start selling it. So the original guy who hasn't committed to it yet, that I just gave them the prices, and I'm like, oh, sorry, 2 of those 5 things have sold. And they're like, what the F? And they go on Facebook, and this Justice Cury's a piece of blah, blah, and I go, oh my God, like I can't win. So I've had to learn from trial and error on how to do that, because holding things and just saying I'm interested in these 5 things, what's your price on them, doesn't mean they're going to commit. And most people are tire kickers, like 1 out of 3 that say, hey, I want this, they fizzle out, they sleep on it, they don't want it. And I've mentioned that before. It's, you know, another shiny object, then they want that, and they don't have the money for the thing. I don't want to talk about that. So what I've been doing is trying to thin out my inventory right now. I've been listing a lot of things on eBay, stuff that's just been sitting there. I love doing mass deals, but other resellers, this is my original point that I was saying, when I do a big picture or I'm sneak peek of that, they'll go, hey, can I come over? Can I come over? I'll buy from you. I'll buy from you. And I'm not really ready. And in the beginning, I used to let that happen a lot. But what would happen is these guys are the same as me. They want the cherries. They want the stuff that's easy to sell. They want the most expensive things. And they're there, and I got to look things up, and I'm giving them good bargains because they're blotting things together, and they'll clear me out of all the gems, and then I'll go, now I got to freaking hustle hard and maximize all the lesser desirable things, where now when I attack those lesser desirable things. That's not even really a good sentence. Sorry. I tack those first, maybe bundle them up. I'll go, hey, yeah, you can buy all this stuff, because I always have the finish line in the end of the cherries, the fun stuff to sell, the easy stuff, the things that I can ask the top dollar and it will instantly sell, instead of giving bargain deals on the top dollar stuff just to get my money back. And now I'm stuck with the hassle of, oh great, this weird spawn 90s stuff that no one wants. And that's no fun. That's no fun. But I'll tack that, bundle up all the 90s $5, $10, $15 spawn stuff, list it or take a video of it after I kind of rough understanding of the prices, and I'll let the people then message me. So it's not an exact science, but those are just some things that I've learned, and I've had the same conversation over and over and over again with people, what things are worth. I love buying and selling toys. It doesn't feel like work to me. And plus, I'm blessed enough that I left my job in law enforcement almost 8 months now, and this is not putting food on the table. Like, I have to make a set amount that my wife and I agreed upon per year, and I can go gangbusters and make that in a month or two and be like, all right. But I am my own worst enemy. Like, I crack the whip, and just how my brain works, I go, and then crash at the end. And I'm trying to set, personal side notes, boundaries, because if you're like me, you're addicted to your phone and looking at it. And I realized, again, time is our most precious commodity. And especially my kids are growing up like that. I mean, they're 8 and 13, and I blinked. I mean, they were babies a while. It was like yesterday, and I blinked, and I'm like, oh my God, they're grown. So hours of operation. I don't want to be glued to my phone, answering all these messages, putting out fires, internet drama, while they're home, because that occupies, like, I'm really not there then. And I've had a few people just suggest, like, hey, stop looking at your phone. Let those PMs just stack up. And then when I wake up the next day and I have 20 messages and dealing with this, the other thing, that's fine. I can do that while they're at school. So that's something I'm working on with myself. And I like making these videos. Like, now that I'm kind of a stay-at-home dad, I'm home during the day by myself. So I need to talk to someone. I'm talking to you. And yes, like early this morning, I went to breakfast with my father-in-law. That was fun. I got another old co-worker at the police department coming over in another hour. We're going to hang out. So I'm not becoming a hermit. I joke with people, and you wouldn't guess this, but I am a introvert pretending that they're an extrovert. Like, you look at me and it's Justice Cury, Comic-Con, blah, blah, blah. But really, I'm a wallflower. Like, I'm not trying to be the center of attention in a group of strangers. I like my alone time. I'm not some crazy party animal. Now, there is parts of me that's wild, but it's in small doses, let's just say that. So this has been a fun adventure. I just sold off 2 of my most rare pieces in my entire collection, because that's what typically happens. I make videos, I talk about things, I make posts, and then I have, even when it's not for sale, guys will go, hey, I saw that in your toy room, would you ever consider selling it? And something that I've said is, everything's for sale, but if it's mine, I might attach a I do not want to sell it price to it, especially with those things that never come up for sale. So I might throw several $1,000 price tags, and everyone's in different financial situations. Because what seems expensive to me might not be expensive to a person that's more well off, and vice versa. And most of my big ticket items, the $4,000 items, the $3,000 items, the one of a kind, this and that, come from me never listing it, just from people reaching out saying, when it comes time to sell, keep me in mind. And I think about it, I go, oh, a bird in hand's better than two in the bush. And there's no right or wrong way to collect. Like me personally, if I didn't have it as a kid, there's only a couple things in my collection, like a lot of my loose He-Man, a few G.I. Joes, things that I actually played with as a kid. Those I'll never sell. They're mine. Plus, there's not a huge value in them anyway. But other rare, foreign, mint on card, other things that I've enjoyed for a few years, I made videos for them. If someone else is desiring them and I can make a few bucks on it, it feels good to know where it's going to its next home. I've appreciated it, I've enjoyed it, nothing I'm super crazy attached to. And especially people that reach out to me on Facebook. I know, I see their posts, they know me. It's not like I'm listing it on eBay and it feels like I'm shipping it off to a robot. It's not a personal connection. So I don't mind selling some of those grails, if you will. Holy moly, I've talked for 26 minutes already. Selling, when it comes to selling, be smart, do your research. I've gone to garage sales before, and I remember seeing a bunch of My Little Ponies, vintage ones, and I know they're valuable. I'm like, well, each one's probably worth $5-10. And the lady's like, oh, I got a basement filled with these things, and ended up being like 200 of them. And she wanted, I don't remember, $400 for them, and I was like, no, and I drove away, and I kind of started researching on eBay, and I turned around, picked them up, and there's all the combs and accessories. I could have individually matched them up, but that would have taken time, and that would have felt like work because it's a property, it's a toy line that I have no attachment or interest in. Even though some of my friends tease me I'm brony, which I'm not, but I just go along with it because I got a funny sense of humor. I guess I'll edit that part out later. Anyway, I didn't want to do that hassle, so I just took big old group shot of them, did a mass sale, and it sold for like $1,100 or $1,200. Now, yes, I could have probably turned it into $1,600 if I individually sold them, but that's a lot of work. I've had good luck doing consignments for people. Like one guy a couple years ago said, I got a massive, oh my God, massive is an understatement, Hallmark collection and Franklin Mint. A lot of things that were in the magazines like Star Trek, commemorative gold trimmed plates and ornaments. He didn't buy just one of each ornament. He bought like 8 of each ornament, and they're all like Star Trek and Star Wars was his bread and butter. And I got so freaking lucky. Oh my gosh. So I waited like a smart man until November to start listing these things. And there was thousands of ornaments, thousands. I filled up my basement. And we worked out a percentage, and I kept meticulous notes. Well, I noticed that, and I put them bidding auction. I didn't care what they went for, each individual pictures, and I did maybe 40 or 50 items. Well, one bidder ended up winning like 90% of all my ornaments, and I went, wow. And they PM'd me and said, hey, if you got any more, let me know. I run the largest Hallmark ornament online company in the world. And I said, what's your phone number? And we started talking. You got to be slick on eBay too. You have to like spell your phone number out, because if you put it, eBay will block it from being sent on a message. By the way, same with email address. Anyway, I talked with this lady, and we got on the same page. And I said, this is what I got. And I started counting everything up, and it was like 10, 15,000. I mean, it was thousands, over $10,000 worth of ornaments. And she sent a representative with a trailer and cut me a check and took them all. And why I was so happy was that she was still paying eBay bidding prices for all of them individually, because she just put the buy it now prices, the high buy it now prices on her website. So she's getting a deal. And when I asked, I said, yep, she didn't ask for a percentage off, nothing. It saved me time. It saved me so much time. I love stories like that. But time is the big thing. That's why people come to me all the time with massive collections. I just talked on the phone yesterday with a person whose family member passed away who was a collector, and they got a whole storage unit filled with collectibles, and I gave them some options on how we can proceed. But you know, they start listing these things on eBay and they realize the massive headaches that are at eBay. People not winning and not like I'll list an item in a 7-day auction. It'll sell, no one pays. Next time I list another 7 days, they don't pay. I've had it 4 times. We're finally on the 4th time they pay, and it's going, oh my gosh. And yes, there's ways around that. I get it. You can block some things, buy it now, whatever. But for my way to selling, there's some hassles with it and unseen fees, especially with the IRS. A lot of just guys that sell sporadically here. I know they pushed out the date where it used to be at $20,000 if you made over that on PayPal, online banking, or eBay. If you made over 20 grand, that would trigger it being sent to the IRS. Well, last year was supposed to be a $600 threshold, so they were casting a wide net and going to be able to pay back all the stimulus money. But for various reasons, they postponed it, and 2022 said, no, we're going to keep it the same threshold of 20 grand. I don't see that lasting long. There's some reasons why they did that, which I don't think are very apparent to us right now, but they want that threshold to get down to $600. So these people, you, me, everybody, you sell over $600, sell a few $1,000, there's going to be a lot of people at the end of the year going, what? I gotta pay what? And I've been paying, IRS tax for many years. I set up my LLC last year, just doing it by the books. I don't want to muddy any waters, and I do it right. Anyway, selling. I'm sure I'm gonna push the stop button, and then 5 other things are going to pop in my head, and I go, oh, I wish I talked about this. So that's why I want you to comment down below. Tell me your thoughts, how you do it. If you think I'm full of BS, I don't care. I get enough hate. You can't please everybody. And that's what I learned many years ago. A mentor co-worker said, hey, Justice, stop trying to please everybody. Because I would get butthurt and bummed out. This person doesn't like me. And he goes, you only have to please one. You please the Lord. God knows the motivations of your heart. People don't. People want to poke into you and always think that there's some evil, nefarious things. And everything you say these days is controversial. There's going to be someone that wants to battle you and disparage you and run you through the mud over opinions. And that's why a lot of people are keeping their mouths shut. Because if you express your opinions, especially on social media, that can have real world consequences, not by the keyboard warriors, but unfortunately your jobs can screw you over, and your certifications and all sorts of things. But I won't go on my conspiracy theory rants, which is another rant that I want to go on to. Conspiracy, where you just, if you have a unique thought, that you can be labeled a conspiracy. I don't know. Edit this part out later. I don't want to be talking about that. This is a fun hobby. This is toys. I try not to turn these into internet dumpster fires where differing opinions go at each other. I can't control it. I make a post, 40 people will comment, and then someone will say something stupid, or maybe about Trump or Biden, and then another person will say something, and then it turns into LGB bathroom thing, and then it turns into this, and then it turns into this. Well, this. And I'm watching these people argue, and then I get dragged into it, and they're like, I go, I'm not policing my comments. I can't spend all day, mediating. I did that for a job with unreasonable people day in and day out for almost 20 years. Nope. I'm not doing it. If it turns into some real bad stuff, I just block people and move on with my life. But my block list is probably in the 200 to 400 range. I know it's crazy and it's hard to wrap your mind around, But when you have a bigger social media following, there's people come out of the woodwork, and they come out and they feel some type of gratification coming after you. And I don't have enough time in the day for my own stuff, let alone battling strangers on the internet that severely have mental illness, that substance abuse, whatever. We're all going through something. I'm not perfect. You're not. No one's perfect. And I ain't saying nothing about them, because everyone's got sin in their life. We're all equal. But this is my happy place. And I'm not getting in the mud. You wrestle with a pig, you both get dirty. I did block, move on, block, move on. If I screwed up, I'll be the bigger man on any situation. Say I shipped something and broke. Yep, here's a refund, send it back. Here's this, here's that. I will make it right to the nth degree, because all I have is my reputation, and that's worth more than any amount of money. I'm losing my voice. I didn't bring a pop or a water over here. I gotta go. I'll see y'all. Love y'all. This has been Story Hour with Justice Cury. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe. I need those. I need attention. Oh, gosh.